We have talked about the Transco bus strike now on and off and on and off a few times. Sadly, for parents, of course, who've been affected, October 31st is when the strike began, if you can believe it. I know you know. And it doesn't look like there's an end in sight, which is even worse, even though the government is beginning to compensate parents who, of course, had to deal with this since then. But look, we've heard from someone who works for Transco, one of their bus drivers. And yesterday, we had him back on the air. His name is Marcel Boudreau. And he pointed out something that we then later heard from Transco itself, so the company, claiming it was not accurate. So we wanted to get the story in this to be fair, get both sides. Claude Breton is the spokesperson for Transco. He's on the line right now. Monsieur Breton, thanks for being here. I want you to hear, first of all, what Marcel Boudreau, the bus driver, said yesterday, and then have you weigh in when we first asked about how much they're getting paid. Brian?
We're getting paid under $19, halfway between $18 and $19 for a start. And even the ones that are there for 20 years don't have much more.
Then it was a matter of saying how much money the government has given, of course, to help pay. And he pointed out that, in fact, the provincial government did make more money available to Transco to pay their drivers more, and that hasn't happened. Here's what he said.
We know that the money is there. We know that they have the money that's been given from the government in order to be given to us, and we want to get it. Even Mascouche, that is operated by Transco also, they got 53%, and they're owned by the same company.
Okay, a lot of stuff in there, so I want you to have, first of all, I should mention Marcel Boudreau, in addition to being a bus driver, is the union representative as well, involved in negotiations. So, Monsieur Breton, what's your side on this story?
Yeah, and thanks for having us today. That's really great to be here. So, a few numbers. So, our drivers are paid by the week, not by the hour. So what Mr. Boudreau referred to was overall a salary per week of $590, which is the previous agreement still in force because we're negotiating right now. What we offered is way more than that. So if Mr. Boudreau, let's say, he's got a year of experience with the company, stays on with the company, in 3 years and a half from now is still a driver for Transco, he'll be making $864 per week, depending on inflation. So that's 46% more than Monsieur Boudreau is communicating with regards to his salary. And then we don't think that it's a bad it's bad money. We pay better than competitors on a weekly basis. We know that from public records. And what union wants is way more money than that $864 per week we were talking about, but it would make it impossible for any company to carry out daily operations on the island of Montreal, period.
You heard him mention, though, he said in Mascouche, 53% offer accepted there. Why can't we have the same thing here? Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's the 53%. Let's say it's around that number. We offered the union the same deal that they got in Mascouche. And you know what? The union said no. They think that the what we got on the table and what they can achieve can be better than what they got in Mascouche. The Mascouche deal doesn't apply to Montreal because in Montreal we're paying by the week, and in Mascouche it's not by the week, it's by the hour. That's quite different, and the union knows it.
Okay, so what are they looking for? What are you finding to be unreasonable in their demands?
Yeah, that they want more money, and you know what? 864. So let's say we take that number. Big raise over the next few years. Transco got money from the school boards, from the government, and there's a maximum we can go to keep a profitable business. If you don't got a profitable school business transportation on the island of Montreal, you won't get any transportation from any company. So we think we're at the limit, and there's nowhere else we can go except at arbitration. If we go all together to arbitration, and the union says yes, we want to be having a third party examining the deal. Mm-hmm. As of Monday, your kids will be on the buses, and the third party will be looking at all we offered and be resolving the final issues on that.
So what will it take?
As simple as that.
I mean, because you say that to me and my heart sings. I'm like, good, because it's been incredibly inconvenient. And like I said, I have a support system, so I can't imagine for people who don't what this time has been like for them. But I don't want to have false hope that something might actually start to happen on Monday. So what will it take for it to go to arbitration? Both sides have to agree on that?
No, yes. In fact, we offered to go to arbitration because we think we're kind of some sort of a dead end with the union. So let's use a third party to resolve all this, and let's get the children back on the buses as of next week.
You're
and the union said no.
You're saying the union has rejected the idea of going to arbitration, and they want to continue to fight or negotiate.
That's right.
Okay, but they also told us that they felt that that Transco wasn't taking the negotiations seriously, that you kind of just kept coming back with the same deal, and that there's a lot of money to work with here, and that you guys have just pocketed the difference.
Yeah, I mean, we don't think so. I mean, as we came back with their huge raises in salaries, I mean, we're talking of more than 30% in all brackets. So this is money we're transferring from what we're receiving to the drivers. So there's nowhere else we can go with the money we're receiving for governments. So this is where we say, let's go to arbitration and let's resolve it in another way.
Okay. You mentioned off the top, if I'm not mistaken, Claude, about the idea that, 3 years into this, how much they would be making. Is part of this, I'm only trying to understand now where the rift here is that when you start as a driver with Transco, you're not making very much money. Is that an issue?
Yeah. Let's take the current salary. It's $591 per week. So let's assume that you got a new driver in 2027, a few years from now. That same driver would go from $590 to $807, depending on inflation. So that's a big raise.
But it's not what you start at right now if you're going to work for Transco as a driver. You start at $590 a week.
If the union was signing the deal we offered as of today, they would be making $731 on day one.
Okay. My understanding is that most of the drivers have been with you for quite a long time. Can I just ask, why do you pay by the week rather than by the hour?
That's the contract on the island of Montreal, and that's the result of many years of negotiation. That's the way it works on the island. So you can have routes that are maybe shorter, others that are maybe a bit longer, and then you're paid the same amount of money. Right. Whatever the kind of bus you drive and the longer the route you got.
So we're going to have to wrap up here. I'm not hearing much room for negotiation, I guess, between what you're saying and what the union is saying. Are you hopeful? Are you not hopeful? If this is about going to arbitration, how long can you hold out before you do that?
I mean, we've been proposing that for a while, and the union says no. So we hope that we can land on arbitration. That would be the best solution for everyone.
I have two more quick questions. How many hours a week are they working on average?
It would depend. I mean, probably in the 20s, I would say.
Okay.
Yep.
And then lastly, can the government intervene and force arbitration?
I just can't answer to that. I mean, I just can't answer to that. I'm sorry.
That's the government's decision, I guess.
Yep.
Okay.
But listen, it would be good if they did at this point.
We thank you for the time. I'd like to hope, I think all parents would, that there'd be a resolution here sooner rather than later. But we do appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Claude Breton from Transco. So I'm kind of at a loss here.
Me too. Because both sides are saying very different things. Yeah. But I will say now I'm swayed that there's got to be arbitration. And I would be curious to know what the union's rationale is.
So would I. To not have it?
Yeah.
And as he said, if there was, if that happened now, you'd be back to service in one day.